favorite friends? It's your girl Cha Cha reporting live from The Money Mantra, and we are back with another Forex education video. I created my channel to help everyday people and entrepreneurs become independent and profitable traders. So if that sounds like you are in the right place at the right time. So welcome to all of my new viewers and welcome back to all of my returning subscribers. Now, in today's quick video, I'm going to be showing you guys a system of how to condition yourself to only take the best setups. Now, some of us have really great traders locked down deep inside of us, but we keep making basic mistakes. And it's simply because we're not taking the time to only focus on profitable trade ideas. We are trying to rush the process and essentially get rich quick. Now, if you're here, I'm going to assume that that hasn't been working for you and you really need to exhibit a little bit more discipline in your trading. And I think that by coming up with a solid confirmation checklist or grading system, this will definitely help you. Now, typically, I like to say that 3 confirmations are good, 4 confirmations are great, and 5 confirmations are fantastic. So that is the criteria that we're going to use when grading our trades based on this strategy. Now, where I'm from, we have a grading system where an A is the highest honor you can receive as a grade. Then you move into your B, your C's, your D's, and ultimately the worst grade that you can get is an F. Now, before we actually get into the grading system, we have to determine which indicators or criteria we are going to be basing our confirmation checklist off of. And I'll be using my trading style and my indicators as an example for this. So when I'm trading, I like to focus on price action and I like to focus on key levels. If the market is selling, I'm looking for the market to revisit key lows, and those are usually where I set my take profits. If I'm buying, I usually use key levels to set my take profits above where the market is, and I also use the stochastic oscillator as an indicator. So here's the criteria that I use for my trades, and then we can go through an example together to determine what type of setup it is. So the confirmations that I look for, or the questions that I ask myself first would be, is the market, oh, have I marked my key levels? And we want this to be a yes or no. If it's yes, I can move on to question 2. The question 2 is, has my market, has the market broken structure above or below? Below, above or below the current trend, right? Because the breakup structure is going to let us know which way the market is actually going. Does it want to go up more? Does it want to go down more? And once we know what the actual structure is, we can determine if that structure has been broken. And I'll go into more detail with that in the next part of the video. Now, the confirmations I like to ask myself on the stochastic are, is it facing up or down? Right? Up would be for a buy, and I'll type this here so you guys can screenshot it or take notes. Up for buy, down for sell. I like to ask myself, has my stochastic crossed above or below 80, 50, or 20, right? Because these are key levels on the stochastic. If I get yes above, that's going to be for a buy. If I get yes below, that's going to be, bless you, for a sell. The next question I ask myself on the stochastic is, which line is on top, right? If I get blue, that's going to be for a buy. If I get orange, that's going to be for a sell. So these are the questions that I like to ask myself, and depending on the answers that I get, this is going to determine which direction I'm going to take my trade in. Now, if I get an answer to all five of these questions in one direction, that's going to be, so we're going to say 5+ yeses. We're going to consider that a A+ setup, right? Because this is something where everything seems to be going in our direction, and this is the way we're going to take our trade. If I get 4, right, yeses, we're going to consider this a B+ setup. It's not the best setup. We don't quite have all the confirmations that we're looking for, but it is enough to feel confident to take our trades. And then we're going to get to 3 yeses. And this is going to be our C+ setup. Now, if you get anything less than 3, so we're going to type that here so you guys can see, anything less than 3 yeses, we are going to consider this. This is a B setup, and we will not take this trade. And then no yeses, do not trade, right? So anywhere from 0 to 3 yeses, we don't really want to take that trade. We kind of want to wait it out until we get some more confirmations. So let's actually put this into practice and see what we can come up with. Right, so I'm just going to go back to this previous part in the chart. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my key levels. Now, key levels are places in the market that your eyes are naturally drawn to. And there's a bunch of different tools you can use to do this. So just to draw your eyes to these areas, I'm going to use the circles to highlight some of my key areas. And the key areas are where I can see clear price action. The market hit this level, and then it rejected and sold off of that level. The market hit this level, and then it rejected and sold off of that level. The market hit this level, and then it bought. So pretty much you just want to identify all of those key levels because these are going to be the places you're targeting for your take profits and stop losses. So have I marked my key levels? That's the very first step in the grading process, and we're already at least one yes in. Now, you want to take this further. Something else I like to do is to use my horizontal lines just so that I can see my key levels marked across the entire screen versus just the circles or particular candles that I'm targeting. So I have my key levels marked. We have one yes. Now, the second question that we want to ask ourselves is, has the market broken structure above or below the current trend? Now, a break of structure is exactly what it sounds like. If the market were to move higher above our key level at the top, that would be a potential place to buy. If the market were to close below this key level at the bottom, that would be our place where we would want to sell. Now, the market hasn't done either one of those things, so far, we're not going to take this trade. But we can go ahead and look at our stochastic and see what's going on there. So far, we have one yes, and we're on question 3. Now, when we come down and look at our stochastic, is it facing up or down? We can see that the stochastic is facing down. So that's going to be a confirmation for a sell. Has the stochastic crossed above or below 80, 50, or 20? And when I come and I look at the numbers on my stochastic on the side, I can see that my orange line is below 80 and my blue line is also below 80. So far we're at a C+ setup, which means that we have enough confirmations to enter our trade, but do we want to be a C+ an average student, or do we want to go above and beyond to make sure that we are getting the correct setups and taking profit on our trades? If you want to be an A+ trader, just go ahead in the chat and drop A+ setup so that I know that you made it this far in the video. Now, if you have made it this far in the video, I do just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel, especially if this is making sense and it's helpful. I have a lot of content like this on my channel, quick videos to help you become a better trader, but I did notice in the last couple of months that 70% of my viewers are not subscribed. So if that is you, you find yourself coming back and you are learning and you just like it here, make sure that you subscribe because it does help the channel. Not only will you continue to see my videos, but it'll also push it into the algorithm to help other traders as well. So I would really appreciate that if you guys would subscribe and continue to support the channel. But let's get back into your analysis. So we have our three confirmations, but we want to take it even further and continue to ask these questions. So which line is on top? Do we have a blue line on top or the orange line? Now, revisiting the stochastic, we can see that the orange line is on top. So right now we're at about a B plus for our trade. This would be good enough to take our trade for a sell. Because we've already highlighted our key levels, we know that if we were to enter this trade, our take profit would be at 12856, which is a little more than 100 pips from where the market is now. So let's see if we can go to the next candle and get that fifth confirmation. Okay, so do you guys see here? We actually have the break of structure that we were looking for. So this would be an A plus setup for a trade, right? We asked ourselves all of the questions and we got the answers that we were looking for to feel confident in this trade. And I'm just going to mark more key levels, right? The key levels are, again, where you can see that price action happening. So now we have additional TPs and we have an A plus setup. We're going to get in for a sell. We're going to set our stop loss at a previous high. And we're going to go ahead and set our take profit at a previous low. And we're going to see what actually happens in this trade. Now you'll notice when you're trading, sometimes your trade moves into profit, it moves out of profit. But ultimately, if you trust your setup and you make sure that you have a A plus setup versus taking like a C or D plus setup, I think it will help you a lot in your trades. Now, sometimes you'll notice that you won't always have the confirmations that you need in a trade, and this is when the trade may not go in your favor. So we can just go to any random part of the chart. We can ask ourselves these same questions, and we can see what confirmations do we actually get, and is this a setup worth taking or not? So we're going to go ahead and look at this part of the chart. Have I marked my key levels? Let's go ahead and mark some more key levels, right? And this is pretty simple. You can use horizontal lines, you can use circles. Has the market broken structure above or below the current trend? No, it hasn't broken above, it hasn't broken below. It's literally staying within the channel right now. So we have one yes and one no. Is the stochastic facing up or down? Right? So it's kind of doing both. We have the blue line facing down, we have the orange line facing up. So we're going to get a no on that too. So far, we have one yes, which means we really shouldn't be taking this trade in any direction. Has my stock crossed above or below 80, 50, or 20? We can see that it's crossed below 80. So far we have two yeses and two nos and one more question to ask. And is our blue line or our orange line on top? And the orange line is on top. So we have three confirmations. This is a C plus setup. We could try to take this trade for a sell, and we can potentially sell down to our first key level. And we can see what happens if we take a setup that is not A plus. So we're going to do our TP there. And then we're going to set our stop loss above the previous high. And we're going to see what happens in this trade. Okay, so we can see that our C plus trade was pretty profitable, but we can also see how close it was to hitting stop loss. So this video is really to demonstrate you guys, if you have a list of questions that you ask yourself, it can help you decide which trades are worth taking and which trades are not worth taking. You don't just want to get into the market and start clicking buttons just because it feels good, it looks nice, you're in a good mood, you're in a bad mood. you do want to take time to think about what you're doing. And that's really the point of this video today. Do you have a system that you can follow that's so black and white where you're not trading with emotions and making those same mistakes? But I really hope that this video was helpful and it gave you something to at least think about when it comes to your trading, as far as having a confirmation checklist and having a grading system. This is something that I like to do because it helps me to stay on track and to not get overwhelmed in the market. But I really hope that this video was helpful. If it was, just go ahead and drop a 7 down below in the chat. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video because it not only helps you, but it helps other traders who may be looking for easy to understand content for their journeys as well. So that's all I have for you guys today. Until next time, rich friends.